2764. The Sermon on Mount is teaching for life. The 3 chapters, Matthew chapter 5, 6 and 7. In the chapter 5 of the Sermon on Mount is focusing on the Beatitudes, which is the new law which is brought by Jesus. If we make our life in a order according to the Sermon on Mount, we will have a fantastic life, a God-centered life, a Christocentric life. And at the end of the Sermon on Mount, it is said, the last paragraph of Matthew chapter 7, everyone who listens to this teaching of mine, or these words of mine, and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on a rock. Our Father is a prayer, but in both, that is in the Sermon on Mount and also in the Our Father prayer, the Spirit of the Lord gives new form to our desires. Those inner movements that animate our lives. Beautiful. Jesus teaches us new life by His words, that is the teaching of the Sermon on Mount, and teaches to ask for it by our prayers. So not only the teaching about the life through His words, but also a teaching through prayer. How we should pray and what we should pray in order to have that righteousness, this new righteousness. So it's written here, the righteousness of our life in Him will depend on the righteousness of our prayer. Paragraph beginning with the subtitle, the Lord's Prayer. The Our Father prayer is known as the Lord's Prayer. The traditional expression, that is the traditional expression, the Lord's Prayer, Oratio Dominica, ora, is prayer, pray, Oratio, prayer, means that the prayer to our Father is taught and given to us by the Lord Jesus Himself. The basic of all prayer is the prayer taught by Jesus Himself. In Jesus' life, the uniqueness of His life is in the way of His prayer. That His uniqueness of His prayer. The uniqueness of His prayer. The next sentence says, the prayer that comes to us from Jesus is truly unique. It is of the Lord. On the one hand, in the words of His prayer, the only Son gives us the words the Father gave Him. Here the reference is from John 17:7. The whole chapter is the Lord's Prayer also. Prayer of Jesus. And John 17:7 says, now they know that everything you gave me is from you. Even the words of this prayer is the words the Father gave Him. Because everything what Jesus has is from the Father. This prayer itself is a Lord's Prayer. Jesus Himself is praying. In another side we see even Jesus, how He got this prayer. His eternal Word. The eternal Word took flesh from Mother Mary and born, became person Jesus, man Jesus. But this Jesus was pre-existing before His incarnation. As what? As consubstantial with the Father. As Word eternal. So, every word what Jesus speak has to be understood in a more deeper way. That's why we heard the Sermon on Mount, through which his words taught us, and in Our Father prayer, his words prayed for us. So a teaching of life and a teaching of prayer. He is the master of our prayer, or the other as Word incarnate. He knows in his human heart the needs of his human brothers and sisters and revealed them to us. He is the model of our prayer.